Same. I'm with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
No, buddy.
In the drawer sometimes. They're just having the time of my life.
Instagram pictures are together.
Oh my gosh!
Is that a Thundercat?
Technology.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh no.
Buddy.
We never doubted on one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. We are live and in living color. Hey guys, it's Bob, the Rocket City Reseller. We want to welcome you to Launchpad Reseller Podcast, Season 2. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Whether you've been selling for 20 minutes or 20 years, we are sure that there is something that we can learn together. We are your mission control, if you haven't heard, in all things reselling. I'm joined, of course, by the lovely Tennessee Treasures, that homeschooling mama when she's not schooling those babies. She's schooling us in everything, toys.
Hi, everybody.
Tennessee Treasures. And also, Queen of Vintage Everything, Four Seasons Picker, has joined us today. Our co-host. Hey, Ruth Ann. Welcome in.
Thank you so much for having me. You're
welcome. And of course, not by any measure, the Renaissance reseller himself. Okay. This young man does everything. He does everything. Rob, the Junk Monkey from Junk Monkey Treasures. Welcome in, sir. Welcome to Launchpad Reseller Podcast Season 2.
Welcome.
It's good to have you, Rob.
Glad to be here.
Good to have you.
Man, it's going to be an awesome podcast. I've been looking forward to this one all week. I know that you've been on We Don't Give a Flip when we did that podcast, you and I.
Yeah.
And that was during the holidays last year, and a lot probably has gone on since then. But we're going to do a recap on where you've been, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, all the things. So we'll go ahead and start with introductions, where people can find you, where you sell, where they can find you on the socials. We'll start with that. So if you want to just clue us in on.
Oh boy, that's a list. I am here on YouTube, Junk Monkey. I'm Junk Monkey Treasures everywhere. All the socials, Junk Monkey Treasures, same name. If you see a monkey wearing sunglasses and a yellow backdrop, that's me. Even on eBay and Poshmark, if you see a monkey with sunglasses and a yellow backdrop, that's me. And it is Junk Monkey Treasures across the board.
Yeah. You also do knickknacks, right, Rob?
Yes, I do knickknack. I'm just Junk Monkey there. I didn't add the treasures, but yeah, I'm on knickknacks.net. That's one of the. It's not really new anymore. We're going on 3 years old in November, I think.
No, but remind us. That's the crazy lamp lady that started that on District, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady. She started the marketplace on District, and District powers it, but it is its own website. It is nicknax.net, knickknacks.net.
Say that again. Say that again.
It's nicknax.net. Hang on just a second.
Oh, we probably got a QR code for $5 off. I love it.
I've just heard so much about that. I've heard a lot about that.
I'm gonna make you big, Rob. Okay, so you can show everybody. All right, here we go.
Well, we cast most of our shows to social media, so I keep this sign available so people can find it. So it's nicknax.net, and if you sign up over there and you use the code JUNKM28, they'll give you $5 to spend.
Okay.
Heck yeah, they will. And I suggest you check Rob out at Junk Monkey over there, because he is selling glass. Lots of glass on there.
Just before the show started, I sold another piece.
Very nice. Yeah. So it's static. So it's a static platform. I know nothing about this knickknacks.
You can do buy it nows, multi-day auctions, and live sales.
Okay.
The live sales seem to be the biggest there, but the buy it nows and the multi-day auctions, they do well also.
Yeah. All right. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about the podcast and the channel really quick, if you don't mind, Rob. So we just recently got our baby monetization on YouTube. So thank you so much, everybody, for liking, subscribing, and watching, and all the things. I got about 1 million questions to ask you after this, Rob, about that. But I know that you too have gotten monetized through YouTube. So if you're not checking out Rob's content on YouTube, you're definitely going to want to do that. So I know it's been a long road, and it's going to get longer for a lot of people. They're upping the hours. They're upping everything.
What? Yeah,
they're doubling everything up next year.
Tears. Doubling it.
Yeah, it used to be 4,000 watch time hours in 365 days. Now it's 8,000. Now, if you're already monetized, you're grandfathered in with one exception.
That's correct.
And I may not be right about this, but the way I take it is in order to get paid for your shorts, you have to have 10 million qualified views.
Dang, and that used to be 3 million, wasn't it?
I'm doomed. I'm doomed.
Ruth Ann, me
Pretty
too.
much have to go viral.
Doomed, Ellie. Me too. Me too.
So I didn't mean to sidetrack things, but I just wanted to thank everybody for their viewership and also all the love and support for the channel. So we appreciate you all so much for doing that. And also the podcast is streaming across Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music, and we're doing really well there too. So make sure you're subscribing on your favorite when you're taking us on the road with you, or maybe when you're packaging in the morning, you want to listen to the podcast. Make sure you're checking us out on your favorite and doing all those things. So thank you so much, Rob, for allowing me the opportunity to talk about that and how much we appreciate our listenership and our viewership. So we're going to get into it. Rob, give everybody the background that may not know you, that have been sleeping on Junk Monkey Treasure, because it's my go-to. By the way, just so you know, like loyalty, Rebel the Reseller, Junkie Monkey Treasures, always every week for me.
Right. Well, I've been at the reselling game online since eBay first started. So I created my first account late in 1997, and I was doing online arbitrage before we even called it that. Yahoo used to have a reselling platform. It was Yahoo Auctions. And I would buy old watches in bulk off of Yahoo Auctions, get them in, and as a watchmaker, I would refurbish the nicer ones and then resell them on eBay for a profit. But I did mainly old watches and jewelry for most of my eBay career. And then maybe a year or so before COVID hit, so somewhere in 2018, 2019, I kind of dabbled my toes in the modern style of reselling, and I've just been at it ever since. I've retired from watchmaking and full-time reseller and content creator now.
Amazing.
Nice.
When you say the modern way of reselling, what do you mean?
When I first started, it was nothing but auctions.
Right.
And you had to get a money order or a check, and sometimes even cash in the mail. And all you had to do was get pictures. Some stuff you didn't even need pictures on for a while, but you just created the auction, and it ended 7 days later. And whoever the high bidder was, you had to wait for them to send you money in the mail. And then you would box their item up and ship it to them.
Oh, so they had to trust that. They had to send their money first, and then you shipped it.
Yep.
There's a lot
Wild
of
West.
That's a lot of trust going on there.
Yeah.
So you've kind of seen the changes.
I've seen the evolution all the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I had to start eBay from scratch today, I don't think I could do it.
Wow.
I've been here for so long. Every time a change come along, I kind of picked it up, absorbed it, and learned it. But if I had to learn how to build an eBay listing from scratch today, I'd say no, that's too much, and I wouldn't do it.
Huh.
But
Yeah, the entryway now is a little bit narrow, I would say, in some regards. Trying to figure out exactly what that looks like. I know that there are a lot of people that start on eBay, but I also want to encourage people that might be listening that are newer to reselling. Maybe start with Mercari or Poshmark. That's how I started. I started on Mercari. It was an easier app to use and kind of got
Poshmark.
Or Poshmark.
Poshmark is so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you load the pictures of your item in, And 9 times out of 10, it already knows what it is, fills out most of the stuff. You just go in and correct what needs to be corrected and hit listed or whatever the word is they use.
That's
Yeah, there's-
interesting. I've never done a Poshmark listing from scratch ever
Oh,
because
they're
of
easy.
because of Nifty. I've never done
Yeah.
one from the scratch on Poshmark.
But do you say that because of the shipping, or is it just
no.
the process of?
Well, now you've got to fill out all of the dadgum item specifics.
Yeah.
The more of those you fill out, the more likely they are to push your item.
Mm-hmm.
So it behooves you to fill those things out, put something in there. Try to be as correct as possible, but you got to put something in there.
Mm-hmm.
The shipping is not so bad once you learn shipping. It seems to be everybody's biggest fear is shipping. But once you learn how to put the measurements and weights in, there's nothing to it other than packing things up safely. If you're like me, I ship a lot of fragile stuff. So I go through a lot of bubble wrap and crush paper.
Thanks.
I think Ruth Ann knows a thing or two about that. She's just like, shaking her head. I know.
I'm so dang happy when I sell a plush.
She's like, finally.
I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
So,
on weeks that I sell.
Rob, last time you were on here, you talked a little bit about your backstory, and for those that haven't seen that episode of We Don't Give a Flip, it is on YouTube. Rob was on. He was like one of the last guests of that podcast, and he gave an absolute masterclass on glass and what to look for. So I encourage everybody to go watch that video if you haven't watched it yet. And Rob, why don't you go ahead and let the folks know exactly your background regarding how you learned glass, and maybe give them a little bit of a small history lesson so that they can see the provenance.
I am a third, maybe even fourth generation glass collector. Both sets of grandparents collected glass. I had one grandmother in particular. She had a glass room at her house.
Wow.
And once per trip, you were allowed to go in and look at all her pretty glass, but there was a toll that had to be paid. She would keep these 1 gallon glass milk jugs on the floor, and the toll we paid was a marble out of our pocket. So we always went to Granny's with a pocket full of marbles, and we go in there and put marbles in the jars. And she had Avon bottles and Fenton and just all kind of pretty glass. Everything's in there is pretty and colorful and sparkly. So I've been around glass all my life. And then late 1990s, early 2000s, the glass collectibles market just nosedived and tanked. And it's only in recent years, the last 5 years or so, that the glass market has started coming back. And the way it's come back is through social media, people out making videos of this stuff. And now we have hot trends, and they come and go so stinking fast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right now, one of the biggest trends in the collectible glass, pottery, porcelain world is something I never saw coming. The old pie plates that have the recipe in the bottom of them. Some of those are bringing $500-$600.
Yeah, those are going viral right now.
Yeah. And that's one of the keys to being successful at this stuff. You've got to be in tune with the market. You've got to see these trends coming. And even more importantly, you have to see when they start cooling off. Because if you don't pay attention to when they start cooling off, you'll get caught holding a bunch of stuff that you can't sell for the kind of money you need to get for it.
Yeah. I think one of the key markers for determining that could be live selling. You'll get really quickly a real temperature on the market, like knickknacks or even whatnot, what is hot and what is trendy. And also when that tide turns. So you got to be very careful that you don't, like you said, get caught with something that's not going to move. And I think if I recall correctly, last time you were on, you talked about seasonality in glass. You want to talk a little bit about that?
There's believe it or not, right now, anything glass, pottery, porcelain, that is fall or especially Halloween themed, right now is the time to be picking it up. It's starting to show up in the thrift stores. Grab it. It doesn't have to be worth a fortune, but right now you can get it cheaper than you will be able to closer to the season. So grab it, stockpile it, buy it as cheap as you can. And I don't know, end of October, middle of October, thereabouts, just start listing it, get it listed. But there are some things that you're going to want to look for that are on the higher end, like Ellie Smith bittersweet glass, a great glass for that. Black amethyst glass. Now it's you got to be careful on how you market your black amethyst glass, because it just looks like black. And if you just post it by itself, you may not get very many hits. Put a little orange in there with it, a little Halloween or fall decoration. Pose it, so to speak. Make it look curated. So if you just put a piece of black glass on a white background, snap a picture and list it, you're probably not going to do so well. So
staging is everything.
It is. You got to market the stuff right. The way I keep up with these trends is through my personal profile over on Facebook. I belong to every collectibles group there is. And whenever somebody starts complaining, I see more than 2 or 3 posts about prices for something skyrocketing. That's a good indicator that item is starting to trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good indicator for sure. So collecting is something that is pretty familiar to you. It sounds like you come from a long line of collectors. What's your favorite thing to collect besides glass, Rob?
Old coins.
Yeah.
Or comic books. I can never make up my mind which. I have a lot of collectibles. I actually used to own a coin store.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I started collecting coins when I was very, very little. Also, rocks, gems, and minerals. I'm a lapidary. I can cut stones. I
told you it was a Renaissance
Jack of all
reseller.
trades. Jack of all trades. I love that.
Goodness sakes.
Around what time did you have a coin shop?
About the same time that I started online reselling, so late 90s.
And when did you start listing those coins online?
Yeah, I did not so much the coins, because I had a local group of people that would come in and buy from me. A lot of times I would buy offline if I could get bulk deals. But no, the watches would come in, and I didn't have any or very many watch collectors. And what few I had, they didn't want to pay top prices for them. So I'd fix them up myself and then sell those online. But the coins, I had a pretty good clientele for those at the store. But we're talking a little tiny small town in East Texas called Silsbee, Texas. If you're a WWE or WWF fan, you might recognize the name of that town. That's where Mark Henry is from. Mark Henry.
Mark Henry? Ah, okay.
The Olympian and WWE superstar. He's from my hometown.
Oh, wow.
I know a couple of names in wrestling, but not very many.
No, me either.
Very nice.
Yeah. So last time you were here, Rob, you mentioned something that was it was a really great story. If you wouldn't mind telling people, when you were married, you did a thing.
I'm married now.
No, I know. Well, when you first got married, you did a thing, and I think this is a really sweet story, and I think you need to tell this one more time for those that may not know.
Oh man, you have. I don't remember which story I told.
So it was the one where you actually mined the gold.
It's
actually mined the gold for his wedding.
I did. Just north of me is the Rogue River, and there's a little town there called Gold Hill. And upriver from Gold Hill is a spot set aside for people to go and pan gold. And coming up here to Oregon back in those days for work twice a year, part of my contract said I got 2 days off to go mining. So I would go up there for 2 days and just dig to my heart's content, panning for gold. And the gold in mine and my wife's wedding ring, there is gold that I mined, along with some old family gold pieces that I melted it all together. I don't wear it much anymore because I'm getting older and my knuckles swell up, and I don't want to have to cut my wedding band off. And I also don't want to size it up because then it'd be falling off when my knuckles aren't swollen. So I keep it on my desk where I can see it. I pick it up and play with it every time I'm sitting at the desk.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
So I've mined gemstones all around the world, tourmaline and spodumene, which is kunzite, and aquamarine down in Southern California, sunstones and opals here down in Death Valley, precious opal, black opal in Nevada. I've been digging for rocks all my life. I started mining the opals, the precious opals in California in 1974. And I still have some of those.
Wow. Is this something that you just picked up as a hobby for fun or for work? Or
well, for several years, I was actually a MSHA certified miner, gemstone miner for open pit work, and 1 year even underground miner. So I did work. I worked commercial. Well, I was in the Navy for a lot of years. I was in the advanced technical field. I've been a gemstone miner. I've worked in shipyards. I was an industrial radiographer, and I was also a metallurgist. I worked around submarines. I didn't get underway with them. I just worked on them, and later became an inspector of other people that worked of them.
Sir, what have you not done?
Yeah, you're making me tired.
Yeah, I am tired.
So would
leave
you
the re off of that? I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Would you say that your experience with all of these precious stones and everything, does that help you find them? Like, do you find them a lot when you're at Goodwills or hunting for them?
Yeah.
Really?
I
wouldn't know what's in for.
I can spot most fakes pretty easy. I was a bench jeweler for a lot of years. I was a Rolex trained watchmaker and a bench jeweler for a lot of years. And
what's a bench jeweler?
Say again?
What does that mean? You're a bench jeweler?
Well, have you ever heard of a silversmith?
Yeah.
Okay. Silversmith is like the entry level to being a jeweler.
Okay.
A bench jeweler works on everything. I can work on gold, platinum, silver, palladium. I can set diamonds. I can set rubies. I can size rings, repair chains. I can make jewelry from scratch.
Okay, so I'm begging the question here. Why reselling? What brought you to you said you started at the beginning of this all, and it's just been a constant, or how does that?
Reselling started out as just extra money. Every month I would go through all the watches I had accumulated and gotten fixed up. I'd set the best of them aside and run the rest of them on a 7-day auction. I never listed a buy it now until 2018, 2019. The first, all those years I was running them all on auction. And then at the end of the year, the day after Thanksgiving, I would take my dozen to 15 or so absolute best watches and run them on a week's auction for Christmas money. COVID come around and hit just as I was getting okay at reselling. I would watch the YouTube channels like Harry Tornado and Rally Roots and a few others, and I'd be like, man, ain't nobody buying used shoes on eBay.
Yeah, because all you've done is sell watches. Wow.
So I'm like, let me check, because I was always a thrifter. I love going to thrift store. I grew up poor, so we fixed everything ourselves, and we thrifted more than we bought new. So I'm like, let me go down here to the Goodwill, which was 4 or 5 blocks from where I was working at the time. I went in there and I found a very nice pair of Red Wing boots. I think I paid $8 or $9 for them. I took them home and I knew how to look things up. I know how to run sold comps because people were constantly trying to sell me watches, and they're like, this is $1,000 watch. And I'd be like, no, it ain't. Yeah, it's a $40 watch. So I knew how to look things up. So I looked these boots up and I looked to see what they're selling for, what people got them listed for. Everybody's got them listed at 100. They're selling it like 70, 75. Like, I'm just testing the waters here. Let me list them at $50. Hour later, cha-ching. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What else? here's how I got into it. At the time, I used to make my own watches. I'd take an antique pocket watch movement, and I had a company that made cases, wristwatch cases that these movements would fit into. I had another company that was making the dials for me, and I'd just buy generic hands and put on them. And then I was also buying generic leather straps for them. And I know how to do leather work too, so put that one on the list of things I know how to do. So it's just to remind myself how to do it and everything. I started looking up making custom watch bands. I'm like, I'm gonna make my own because the ones I'm buying aren't up to my standards, and the ones that are up to my standards, they are ridiculously expensive. So while I'm looking this stuff up, leather work in general, shoe repair kept popping up, and one of these videos was talking about refurbishing shoes and selling them online for a profit. And then somehow the algorithm decided that I needed to see eBay YouTube videos. So I just watched one of them one time, and I'm like, nah. And I'd watch these videos, and I was soaking up everything I could. I started actually looking for these videos, and I would be like, nah, no way. And I'd run to the Goodwill, and it always seemed that one particular item I was looking for was there. I'd grab it, I'd run home, take some pictures of it, throw it online, and lo and behold, it would sell. COVID did. Now, we never actually shut our shop down. We shut it down to the public, and we shortened our hours, which to this day they have not reestablished the original hours. So I got no hours. I'm not making any money. I'm like, I need to make some money. Reselling is what's working. That's what I'm going to do. So I just went into it wholeheartedly. We never shut our thrift stores down, and we never shut the bins down. I was there every day looking up everything I could. And in those days, just about anything you listed would sell. These days, you got to be a little more picky about what you pick up. And with thrift store prices going up, you got to be real careful about how much you pay. There are a lot of hidden costs to reselling that people just don't take into account.
Yeah. What would you say a profit margin is like a safe to look at when you're buying something at a thrift store? Like 50%, 70%?
I kind of have a rule of thumb. I want items that I can get 5 to 7 times my money for or more, with the realization I may have to sell it at 3 times the money just to recoup the money I have into it, and then I can reinvest that money into a better item. So I don't truly go by percentage. It's an X times the amount of money I put into it.
Gotcha.
So
like
I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel, but I put out a video.
I have been. I had to get to know you.
The almighty sell-through rate, STR. Everybody does it wrong because everybody does it the way that YouTube resellers taught them to do it. First off, there's no such metric on eBay as a sell-through rate. Does not exist. If it did, there would be a button you could click to check the sell-through rate of an item. If you go to Google, there are some people, somebody watching this video is going to say, that guy's an idiot. He don't know what he's talking about. To that person, go Google the definition of a sell-through rate. And here's what you're going to find. And this is right off the top of my head because I've looked it up so many times. Words to the effect a company buys X number of items, they make them available for sale. 30 days after they make them available for sale, they check and see how many of them have sold. X minus Y gives you the percentage of the sell-through rate. Right?
Okay.
Here's the problem with that. When you're on eBay, that's not one seller. That's God knows how many sellers. That's not 30 days. That's 3 seconds to 3 years or longer. And the items that you look up, if you scroll through it and look through all of it, they're not all the same. There's a lot more math to do to it. The closest you can get to calculating a sell-through rate, that second number, you look at how many of them are active listings, then you click on solds, And you see that number, that's 90 days worth of solds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take that second number, the number of solds, and you divide it by 3, then run your STR equation, you'll get closer to a genuine sell-through rate, as close as you possibly can to a real sell-through rate. That is probably the number one reason it's happened to me so many times, and I've heard so many people say it. Man, when I picked this up, the STR was great. I bought it, paid up for it. I got it home. I listed it, and it's just not selling. Now, they didn't do this STR equation correctly. That second number has to be divided by 3.
That's interesting.
Right.
So what's great about selling plush, I don't actually worry about that. To be quite honest,
right?
Well, I know that to begin with, right? So I have a business model. My business model is to buy at subterranean prices and sell low, right?
That's
like
mine
my
too.
VHS.
Right, VHS, like Black Diamond. We're going to talk about it. I'm glad you brought it up because we're going to talk about that in just a second. So you make your money when you buy it. We can all agree on that. And I think a lot of people that are new don't realize that when they first start. So if you're hearing the sound of our voices, just know when you make your money when you buy it. So you try to get it as low as you can. Now, obviously, you're going to pay up a little bit for the better items. And you're going to kind of learn that as you go. But that's what I love about plush. It is such a low entry item, but it does take a little bit of time. So if you have time, space, and patience, you could do a pretty good business model. I call our business model the Dollar General model. I sell a lot of bread and butter items, and I sell a lot of them. So by doing so, I can make a lot of money doing that. But I also don't have a lot invested. So just what's your time, what's your space worth? You know, this model may not work for everybody, right? Again, I'm a part-time, my wife's a full-time reseller, and I do have a full-time job. So, I mean, that looks different too. So you got to take all those things into consideration when you're talking about. So I just wanted to make that point because just because sell-through rate is a thing, technically there are more ways to do this than one.
I sell a lot of stuff that has terrible sell-through, but it works for me because I buy it so cheap. I don't mind sitting on it. And I have built a following through the years that people will buy things from me that they won't buy from other people.
Right.
And and a lot of that boils down to a couple of things: customer service, quality, and consistency.
Plus, when you buy in the basement, you can list lower than most everybody else on there.
That's I kind of have several things. It's just VHS is the king, but VHS, remote controls, paddles out of bread machines, and power supplies, AC adapter cords. I get all of that stuff with the exception of the VHS at the bins, and I pay 59 cents a pound for it. So it's most remote controls are 4 ounces or less. So I'm paying pennies for the things. So they got to be cheap. They got to actually sell. They got to be easy to test, easy to clean, easy to list, easy to store, and easy to ship. If it meets all of that criteria, especially that cheap part, pennies, I'll stock up on it, and I sell a lot of that kind of stuff. So, and VHS, like the Black Diamond,
they get a bad rap, Rob. They do.
Oh God, they get a terrible rap. You would not believe how much hate I have had thrown at me because I'll post. I've got this thing where on social media when I post a picture of a screenshot of one of my solds, it's "Woo, Junk Monkey got paid," and I'll throw a picture,
I love it.
a screenshot of a Black Diamond VHS, and I'll share that to the groups. Oh my God, the haters will come out of the woodworks after me, and they're like, "You're lying." I'm like, "Hey, the item numbers right there in that screenshot. Look at. If you don't know how to do that, here, let me send you the link." And the problem with Black Diamond, Disney Black Diamond, for those that don't know, Disney Black Diamond, let me grab one. I've got about 400.
All right, I'm going to make it big again so people can see.
Yeah.
There we go.
I've got about 400. Turn this light down a little bit. I've got about 400 Black Diamond VHS. It's called Black Diamond because right here where it says the classics, It's in the shape of a diamond. If you can see that, let me get that. There you go.
Cool.
So there's about 17 or 18 of these in the series. And there are people out there that collect them. They're trying to put together the entire set. There are other people, there are grandmas out there that still have a VCR with their grandkids come over. They want to watch Aladdin on the old school VCR. Eventually that VCR is going to eat the tape, or the kids are going to play with it, drop it, break it, or the tape's going to wear out or get mold in it or whatever. They need a replacement. Now, if you get online, and especially years ago, the crux of the problem, there was an urban myth that Black Diamond Disney, especially Little Mermaid, was worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And this one journalist was given a puff piece to write on it, and she didn't do her due diligence. And she wrote this big article about these things being worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And they're worth nothing, nowhere near that. They're not valueless. They have some value. On eBay, people were selling these things for thousands of dollars. But if you just take a second to look at the listing, the seller has no feedback. The buyer has no feedback.
Money laundering.
10,000. We don't know what. That's the number one theory, is that it's money laundering. Lately, there's been speculation, and with some evidence to back it up, that things like what Epstein was into.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how money was changing hands, because in the papers, part of the investigation, they made note of Disney movies and eBay. We don't know if it's drug money, laundering money, human trafficking money. We don't know what that is.
Yeah.
They're never going to tell us. But it was not, the point is, it was not genuine sales. So a lot of people thought the myth was true. So they went out and started trying to buy these things and sell them for these thousands of dollars. Some people were even buying them for way too much money and losing. So once word started getting out that no, Black Diamond's not worth anything, then it got the rap on the far opposite end of the scale. Pendulum swung all the way back to the other side. Now everybody thinks they're worthless, have no value. I buy them at 9 cents a piece. I sell them at $12.99 free shipping. Little Mermaid, I sell at $14.99 free shipping. And I make $5 to $6 profit on every one that I sell. $9 into $5 or $6, and I sell probably 5, 6, 7 of them a week every week. That's anywhere from 35 to 50 something bucks every week, extra money that I can use to go out and source higher value items. So that's why I like low value items.
Yeah. They're easy to ship, right? They don't take a lot of space. They store well. That's the point of them, right? To do all those things. So it kind of makes sense. That business model is kind of like the plush too. It's like it stores well. It's easy to ship. So those are the items that, if you're going to make a decision to have lower cost items in your store, maybe those are the ones you want to make those decisions about.
Yeah.
Because
it's a great way to learn, especially the first year or two. Something like VHS or plush, they're easily bought. You can find them anywhere. They're almost always super cheap. So you're not like investing your life savings into it or next month's rent money into it. Take 20, 30 bucks out. Go find as many as you can and learn how to list, how to take them pictures, how to set up a light booth, and how to ship. So they're great for learning also.
Yeah.
And there are some plush that are worth a lot of money. I've sold several over $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We just sold Bear in a Big Blue House and Tutter for over $200 on eBay. We have a question in chat.
All right.
About the demand for vinyl. Do you sell any vinyl, Rob? Any records?
I do not.
You don't. Okay.
I don't know enough about it. What little bit I know about it, it either has to be a controversial cover, like the Beatles' Butcher album, or it has to be one of the small labels from the 40s and 50s doing jazz and early rock and roll. So if you find a 50s late 50s, early 60s Elvis vinyl. They made them by the metric ton. They're not worth anything. But if you find an early 50s unknown musician on an unknown label, some of that stuff can be worth a fortune because they didn't make that much of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, down here in Alabama, we're not that far from Muscle Shoals, where all that rock and roll and stuff kind of birthed. So it is possible to still find that stuff down here. I don't personally sell that, but yeah, we come across a lot of vinyl. I found a lot when last time we were in Missouri, an absolute treasure trove of just Motown records. Now I'm not sure about that, whether that stuff is good, but I know for sure that there was a lot of good albums in there. And I'm not that guy. And when I was filming it, I was like, someone's coming at me in the comments, I know, for not picking this stuff up, because there was just record after record that was just, Motown gold. Yeah. So for those that saw that video, I'm sorry. can't get everything.
That's right. Can't know it all.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can try. And I think
you can try, but I have strong points, and my biggest strong point is learning how to research. That is probably more important than learning a niche, however you say it. Learn how to research, and don't be afraid to reach out to some of these collector groups and ask for help. Now, I will advise you not to let them know you're a reseller, because a lot of those collectibles groups, I don't care what genre it is, they don't like resellers. Some of them.
No. They don't.
Even though every one of them buy from us, some of them are. You get online, you get into these groups. Oh boy, some groups are set up by resellers for resellers, and those, if they're private, can be really great groups. Yeah. But the public groups for reselling, toxic. I don't advise. They are. Oh my God, are they toxic?
They're so bad. That's why we started the Resellers Refuge, our private Facebook group, for that very reason, because there are so many groups out there that'll just tear you up about, did you do your research? Did you Google search? Did you Google Lens? Most people that are entry level, people that are entry level don't know that stuff. They're coming to these groups for help. Now, yes, you need to teach a man to fish and all the things. I totally understand where they're coming from, but also give some grace. Because and that's why
a lot of them act like, I post those low value sales, and man, they just get all over me. You shouldn't post that. That's nothing to brag about. I'm like, buddy, nobody goes out and finds $100 items every day. And if you don't learn how to do the low value stuff, you're going to starve to death in between big sales. You got to have that money. It's like a trickle.
I call that bread and butter.
Yeah. Bread and butter. You got to have that money coming in constantly. I'd rather get paid 10 or 15 times a week, small amounts, and be able to count on that kind of money every single week than I get paid once every 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. I still buy the high value stuff. I'm constantly looking for it, and I find it. But if that was the only thing I was selling was $100 plus items, I would not be a reseller.
I think most people are probably like us, where we would love to find higher dollar value items, but it's just not the case. Realistic, it's, you see this stuff on YouTube. I try to do both the good, the no lows, and the bolos. Try to do both in my content so that people can see not everything is worth picking up, right? So, but I think that you have to be careful on YouTube about what it means to be a reseller and what that looks like. In value, we call it a reseller education, a university degree in reselling. There's a cost to learning how to resell, and you're gonna pay that cost. So
everybody will.
You're gonna make bad buys. I don't know how much more seasoned I could be, and I still make mistakes. I still make bad buys. I do, and a lot of times it's because I didn't stop. And it's because in my area, sourcing is extremely competitive. Sometimes I've only got a split second to grab something, put it in my cart. Today, I was actually reaching to the top of a new electronics cart. There was a very nice KitchenAid stand mixer there. Not one. It wasn't a little home one. It was the commercial grade one. And before I could grab it, this big dude reached over the top of me and snatched it away. So,
Oh man.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? It's going to end up being broke, and you're going to get an INAD for it. So,
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
curse him with that. It went through that's how I calm myself down. It's like, I wasn't supposed to have that. He's going to have problems with it, not me.
Let's talk about Oregon a little bit. You know, part of your content that I enjoy most is going on treasure hunts. You said you have a little catchphrase that you say. Why don't you go ahead and let people know what you say when you're going into your content? Because I love it.
Like and subscribe. Come along for the ride, and let's see if we can find some treasure.
Heck yeah. That right there, first of all, marketing genius. I love
I kind of stole that stuff.
It's okay.
It's a
because I
little
stole
bit
it from
from
you,
over
Rob.
here, a little bit over there, and I kind of I like that, but I'm not going to knock it off exactly because somebody's going to get on to it. I like that over there too. I'm like, well, let me take a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and season it with a little bit of this. And that's kind of how I come up with that one.
Yeah, I love it. So
That's just called sharing.
sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Yep.
Your content, right? Now we talked a little bit about this, you know, backstage a little bit about how you edit it. You know, you're using iMovie, etc.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk us through, like, when you go into a thrift store, what you're looking for, where you're going first, so people can get a feel for that treasure hunt content.
Okay. I walk in, the carts are always immediately by the door. Grab a cart. I don't care how many people tell you that it's bad luck to go shopping without a cart or with a cart. That's bull. It's worse luck to find a whole bunch of stuff and your arms aren't big enough to hold all of it. Okay?
That's right.
They're not. And before you can get back to the front of the store, grab a cart and go back there where that stuff was at, somebody like me has already come along and swooped it all into their cart. Period. So first thing I do is I grab a cart and I'm scanning out across there. And I know in every thrift store, I know exactly where the new carts are always located. So I'm looking back there to see if there's a new cart. If there is, beeline straight to it. And then the number one thrift store that I go to is a Goodwill. And they have a super high turnover in inventory. So, and I start where the new carts are at. That's also the aisle that has all the little knickknacks and art glass and vases and stuff. That's my jam. I love that stuff. And hang on just a second. Grandma, we're on camera. It's all right. I forgot to put the sign up. But yeah.
Welcome to come aboard.
I haven't talked her into being a character in my videos yet.
Oh
I said,
man.
yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
Well,
one day,
first.
Mama
back.
Monkey's gonna be on here.
But I start there because that's where I like to find stuff. That's where I'm going to find Fenton. That's where I'm going to find Viking swung vases. That's where I'm going to find that kind of stuff, little figurines, studio art, pottery. And then I hit my end caps. I hit the back end caps first because I got more knickknacks, candle holders, glassware, fancy stuff. And on the right side up against the wall is all the electronics. That's where I find my VCRs and my DVD VCR combo units and a few other electronics. Then I go all the way to the back corner, which is where all the lamps and fans are at. And then I just start zigzagging back and forth through all the aisles. And I just have a pattern that I follow. And it starts the stuff, my favorites, the new carts, my favorite stuff, and then my most, I set up a pattern to where it takes me to my most valuable stuff. But building a pattern, it allows you to get through everything quickly in an organized fashion. If you've got a plan, you can always upgrade a plan. If you're just going willy-nilly, you're going to miss something. I have a plan. I have a process and a procedure, and I still miss stuff. And I point that out in a lot of my videos. I'm like, that was not sitting there the first 4 times that I came through here, was it? But a lot of
the comments.
I am missing stuff all the time because I'm focused like this. I'm taking pictures and I'm talking and my peripheral vision just kind of comes in like this. So when I'm making content, it's so easy to miss stuff. So I will go back through my exact same route, but in reverse. So I see things from a different angle, and I slow down a little bit, and I keep the camera in the pocket until I find something.
Yeah.
That way, I feel better about not missing things, and that's how I found the things that I missed the first time around. But of course, I always tell myself, "Nope, I didn't miss that. Somebody just now put it there."
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too, even with the meta glasses that I wear, because that's how I found. I noticed that sometimes as soon as I put those glasses on, they're like goggles where I'm not paying attention well enough. So I'm just
blinders. It's like the old blinders
right.
you
I'm
used to put on
constantly struggling
horses.
between sourcing. Luckily, I have my wife with me most of the time, so she keeps me on the straight and narrow. But trying to figure out the content and also doing that at the same time. So yeah, it's a challenge to be able to kind of keep your eyes open. I know recently in one of your videos, there's a little bit of drama over there at the Goodwill about some VCRs and some pricing and some stuff like that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what those challenges are there?
This has been an ongoing challenge, and I'm not the only reseller facing it. Prices are going up, and we got people at thrift stores who don't know how to research. And I don't care how many times you try to teach them the right way, you might as well be banging your head on a brick wall. You're like, look, you cannot be looking things up, active listings on Etsy instead of sold listings on eBay. And they literally told me to my face that, I looked it up on Etsy. I was just like, I give up. But the drama in that particular case was we just opened a brand new second thrift store here in Medford, Oregon. And they brought in people from all the surrounding areas to man that store. At least some of the employees, not all of them, some of them are my friends, but some of the employees that got sent to that store were, well, just put it bluntly, they were problem employees, and they were sent there. It was kind of their last chance to straighten up, act right, and keep your job.
Sure.
Some of those folks have already been fired, but I was in there. It was only my second time in. I was in there for the grand opening. Did really well. I went in there the second time, and I had my mother-in-law that was just here in there with me, and they brought out an electronics cart, and I knew both of the guys who were working it. One of them I knew very well. He was, I hate to call him a problem employee, but at least he had an excuse. He's on the spectrum. And if you just slow down and talk to the kid, he's a nice guy. But he's one of those people that you also, once he's got an idea in his head, you're not going to change it. And pricing was one of those things. But they brought the electronics out, and I saw another reseller that I know. He beat me to the cart. He's got 2 VCRs sitting on top of his cart. And I go running up. I'm like, oh, man, you beat me to him. He says, yeah, man, but the prices. And I looked down, and they were $35 a piece. Now, and the thrift stores testing means they plug it in, they hit the power button, they see a light. That's it.
Right.
There's no further. They don't put a tape in it to see if it's going to eat it. They don't hook it to a television to see if it's actually going to send out a signal. It's all they want to know is, can you plug it in and turn it on and it not catch fire? That's tested to them. So I look down and see this price. And I'm like, oh my God, who priced these? And I looked up and I saw the one kid I knew. I'm like, oh, well, that explains it. And the other guy chimes in. I've had run-ins with him before at another store. He's kind of rude. He's like, I priced them just so you resellers can't buy them. And the other guy's, yeah, we know all your tricks. And I'm like, did they really just say this to me? And I started trying to talk to them, and I was like, they were so rude, and I was like, no, just drop it. I'm like, Grandma, come on, let's go, we're leaving. I went back a week or two later, and I had talked to another manager at one of the other stores, and she and I are on very good terms. She's always been very helpful for me. I don't bother her any more than I absolutely have to, but she likes me. I like her. I love all of her employees, know most of them by name. And I went and talked to her. I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. I mean, they just told me to my face they specifically tripled the going price for this stuff, so I can't buy it. And other resellers too, but I'm the reseller. They told to my face they didn't want me buying their stuff. I'm like, and when I went back in there, I went and talked to the new manager. I'm like, look, I had just talked to a collector because the prices were still jacked up. But I'm like, look, man, there's a collector right there. Let's go talk to him. He'll tell you he's not paying those prices.
Right.
And he's like, well, I looked it up on Etsy. I'm like, you didn't look it up before he told me he priced it up triple, so I couldn't buy it. And really and truly, only one of the two would have been something I'd have been even remotely interested in. And I get $35 to $40 for it, so there's no way I can buy it. So, and then the guy just would not come to terms with me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out. I spend in Goodwill in my area, I spend close to $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
I have got one sitting right here from last quarter. That's all Goodwill, and that's not even all of them. I've still got half that much again. That's a 1 gallon bag stuffed.
Your file system just like mine, by the way.
Like you. Yay! I'm so happy to see that old school baggie.
I keep a logbook too.
Oh, well, that's one up on me, Rob.
Well, that way I don't have to sit and calculate every one of those at the end of every quarter.
Oh, yeah.
But
I do it annually, Rob.
Bob, you and me both.
I'm a terrible.
I'm terrible. I got to get
terrible
better.
too.
You know, I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of resellers who's had those type of conversations with people selling or pricing at the thrift stores. And on top of all of that, they're trying to price locally against a global market. VCRs, I send most of them to Southern Florida. I even had one of the kids tell me one time, well, these are super hot in China. I thought you aren't in China, okay? Nobody in China is going to get on the phone and call you and have you box that up and ship it to them. So I'm the one that they contact to buy things and ship to them.
Right.
And one thing that I tell people all the time, now this is a high number and it's high on purpose. I use this number to protect myself. This is why I like the 5 times the money or more. 40% of every dollar you generate does not go in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many overhead costs. There's fees, there's taxes, your fuel, your food, your time, your shipping supplies. No less than 40% of that money that you generated is going to go into your pocket. It's going to go somewhere else. So you have to take that into account. So when I tell them, like, not only did it not, that's an active listing, they didn't get that kind of money. Here's what they actually sell for. Now take 40% of that money away. That's what that seller actually made when they sold that. And it's like you're talking to a brick wall. And I've yet to find one of them that'll take that in and do anything with it. They don't, and most of them, quite honestly, they don't care. They're doing a job. Their job is, they actually have quotas at some of these places. You have to price so many things out. They've got like a price sheet. If it's in this little thing, you price it at this. If it's in this little thing, you price it at that. That's all they care about. But occasionally,
Savers. Yeah, there's a third store called Savers that is the same way. Sorry to interrupt you. That, they're on a strict time. Like, I tried to ask a question to someone that was putting stuff out, and she was just like, "Listen, I don't have time to answer you." They got me on the clock, and I was just like, "Holy cow!" It's wild.
I was telling you about that one store where all the employees, I know them by name and I'm friends with them. Several of them get in trouble, or they get told to, hey, get back to work, because they see me, they run over and they sit and talk to me. They want to see what I'm finding, and they all sit in the back and watch my videos. But some of them get in trouble for sitting and talking to me too long.
Wow.
Which I hate that for them. I really enjoy knowing these people and being friends with them, and it's always great. But I hate to see them get in trouble just because they come and talk to me. And I've talked to a couple of the supervisors and managers. They're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're just keeping them on task. Nobody's actually in trouble." I'm like, "Good."
That's good.
It's important to network with where you're sourcing.
Yeah.
My wife is very good at this. I call her the mayor. Wherever she goes, she's never met a stranger.
Right.
That's the beauty of our relationship. I'm the opposite in public, but I'm more personable here on the computer. But yeah, so she is that strategy for us, and it's important to make connections, regardless of it's an employee. Someone being kind doesn't take any effort, really.
I
And
mention it
goes
in my
a long way.
videos.
Yeah,
I mention it quite often in my videos. Be nice to people.
Yeah,
It'll pay off.
way.
Now you got to be genuinely nice, though.
Yeah,
if you're to put it kind of crudely, if you're sucking up looking for a hookup, people can tell you're not being genuine.
Yeah,
And
disingenuous.
they're not going to like you, and it's not going to work. You got to be genuinely nice to people. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people will they'll look at me. I'm always nice to everybody. They don't realize my redneck and my military background. The flipping that switch from super nice to you just bit off more than you can chew is a very short switch. And I make sure that those kind of situations never make it on camera.
Yeah, I mean, there is a time and place for that as well. You don't want to be a doormat for people, but at the same time, also try to be a decent human being while you're doing this. A lot of reselling content kind of skirts around the subject. It's kind of elephant in the room at times.
There are a lot of resellers out there that are making it tough on the rest of us. They are not good ambassadors for the reselling world. Like the guy that reached over me today to get the mixing stand mixer KitchenAid.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know his story. He may have kids at home that are starving and needs new shoes. Maybe he needed that thing worse than I did.
I say this all the time, Rob, that hungry dogs run faster. And it's just, you don't know what someone's story's like. So, you know, they may be aggressive in some way, but you also don't know their backstory and why that is. I think the more.
But then again, there are some people that make no bones about it. That some people make no bones about it that they are indeed a jackwagon. Yeah, they're super aggressive. I told one guy, I'm like, look, man, if you want something, I was at the bins. I'm like, look, man, if you want something in front of me, and not to body shame or nothing, but this fellow was morbidly obese. And it's hot at the bins. He just kind of shoulders into me, reaches way out across me. I'm like, oh, the body odor. I'm like, look, man, if you want anything in front of me, just ask. I'm happy to hand it to you. And he looks at me, he sneers, and he's like, nah, I'll just reach. I'm like, do it again. I dare you to do it again.
We know nothing about that at the Nashville bins, do we, Ellie?
We need to start the Bins Chronicles. We really do the Bins Chronicles. I'm telling you.
I've seen fist fights in the bins several times. And there's not a piece of junk in there worth.
Why do you think there's a cop in there? You know there's going to be.
Yeah. There's not a piece of junk in there that's worth going to jail or the hospital over. Yeah, and the last few times that I've been in there, I've come close to being one or the other.
I don't think you can tell Amanda that.
My wife is a scrapper, man. You give her one inch of the wrong look, she'll go up one side and down the other of you. She looks sweet. She is a sweet person, but she don't take no guff either. So
one of my techniques at the bins, if you shop at the bins, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There'll be these great big wads of Christmas lights, wires, coat hangers, anything strand-wise that just gets all matted together.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't dig through it. So what I will do, especially if it's one of the middle bins and it's braced on either end, I'll wait till nobody's there, and then I'll reach and grab one end of it, and I'll just pull it up and fold it back so I can get to the stuff that's under it. And I had this gal, she'd wait till I did that, and then she'd run over there and jump in front of me, start digging through all the stuff that I uncovered.
What?
I'm like, oh no. And she did that to, I'm like, well, yeah. And the first time it was like, you know what? I'll just go find another spot. So I went and did it again. I reached, grabbed, pulled, cleared me a spot, started digging. Here she comes, got right in front of me. I'm like,
strategy.
Pass those things right back.
That's strike two. Yeah, that's what I should have done. But that's strike two. So I go to a third spot on the opposite end and corner and did it again. I reached and pulled, and I saw her coming. And when she came, I pushed my cart out in front of the stuff that I'd just uncovered. So I got a big mat right here. I've got my cart right here, and I've got my clear area. She starts bumping my cart, trying to bump my cart out of the way. I just held on to it, and I sat there, and I gave her the mean mug dirty stare, just stared at her. She bumped it one more time, and it didn't move. She looked up, and I'm just I didn't growl, but I would have. Yeah.
Are
she
you
looked
sure?
At me, her eyes
Are
got
you
kind
sure?
of. I may have growled a little bit. She went and got her husband, boyfriend, roommate, whoever he was, to come over there. He got in front of it, tried to reach way out in front of my cart to grab some stuff. With him, instead of just standing there with the cart in between us, I pushed the cart out of the way and I stepped towards him. And I got his ears right here and my nose was right here. He turned, looked at me, and I just sat there and deadpan stared at him. He's like, ooh, and he left. Now, he was nowhere near as scary as she or he thought he was. And that was one blink of an eye from one of us going to jail and the other going to the hospital. So
you should be junkyard dog, not junk.
There's already a junkyard dog in the. But I genuinely enjoy being nice to people. But again, that switch, it flips real easy for the right situation.
So ballsy.
For those that are listening that may not know what we're talking about, the Bins is a Goodwill outlet store. So I just wanted to throw some context on there if you're listening on your favorite Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Music. We're talking about the Goodwill outlet bins. It's a pay by the pound store front. When you're done with the retail stores, they go to this final resting place before they head off to the landfill. And you have a chance to buy items at weight. And there are different weights and different prices depending on where you are. So if you want to look at the Goodwill outlet in your area, just do a Google search and you'll find one near you. I'm sure there's a million of them, but some are more, some are better than others. And also,
it's like the Waffle House at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it really is. It can be.
Yeah.
Be prepared to
it's not always like that. And there's a lot of nice people, but there can be some.
Yeah.
There can be some really aggressive people there, and if they perceive you to be a nice person, they're going to try to push you.
They do it to me. I'm 6'5" and 280, so I'm not a small dude.
Or little person.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 5'6".
Yeah.
But I'm kind of thick, and it ain't all belly. So.
two C's.
Yeah,
I'm stocky.
Say that next time. I'm kind of thick.
Listen, I'm not overweight. I'm just hot.
I'm not out of shape.
My air is
a shape.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
So Goodwill outlet bins. So we do need to do a Chronicles show. We really do, because there are so many stories that we've encountered over the years. We've been reselling for 4 years, not as long as you guys, but I swear Ellie and I
did
probably
you hear about Ginger Marvin's. What happened to Ginger Marvin at a Goodwill a week or so back?
Actually, reached out to her.
She went into the bathroom and she accidentally left she has this pouch thing she wears and it had her car keys in it. Oh, somebody grabbed her pouch with her car keys in it and went and stole her car out of the parking lot.
No.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
She's gotten it back now. They left the key fob in there, but not the key. And actually, the cops found the car a few days earlier, but they put a tracker on it to try and track this person and maybe catch them in the act. Whatever happened, whoever stole it abandoned it somewhere and it didn't move for 3 or 4 more days. So they went ahead and went and got her car back. So
dang. You got to be careful. Head on a swivel. Head on a swivel. Yeah. You just never know. Rob, we're at the point of the podcast where we do a thing where we ask our esteemed reseller who would they like to have on Launchpad Reseller Podcast. So, Rob, Junk Monkey Treasures, who would you like to see on Launchpad Reseller Podcast?
Kathy from Ginger Marvin.
Kathy, you've been called out on Launchpad Reseller Podcast. What say you, Ginger Marvin? We're coming and knocking. She's an excellent content creator and reseller.
Yes. She recently, and I say recently kind of loosely, within the last several months to a year, got on Whatnot, and she has taken to it and is really doing well with it. And I'd love to see her on here and talk about that journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
She
getting her
is
car stolen too. That'd be
Oh,
great
wow.
storytelling. It'd be
But
better to hear
unfortunately-
from her, you know?
Yeah. The content though.
Yeah.
It's always you always go back to the content, right? Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible event, but you can turn lemons into lemonade, as they say.
That's probably something we need to talk about is up and coming content creators.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
it's not as easy as the camera makes it look.
No.
It is not fast.
Nope.
It takes a lot more work. And here's the one thing it's going to require. If you want to get in this game and get monetized at it, you're going to have to sacrifice time and money. We
Yeah.
touched on it earlier when I said, I'm in there, I'm focused, and I got my camera here. I'm missing out on stuff.
Mhm.
Right now, if I take my camera in and I'm making content and thrifting, it takes me an hour, sometimes longer, to make it through one of my local thrift stores. If I don't have that camera in my hand, if I'm not making content, 30 minutes or less down the road to the next one, I can hit 6, 7, 8 different thrift stores in a day, make it home for a late lunch, and then start listing until dinner time and make way more money than I make off of my content so far. But I am growing. If you're going to do this content thing, I'm going to tell you the number one thing is consistency. You're going to have to experiment and find out what works for you. Shorts, reels, pictures, screenshots, and written posts. Find at least one thing that works for you in each one of those items. Don't list them once a day, every hour, every half hour, but set yourself a cutoff point. I don't post anything after 5 p.m. period. 5 p.m. new stuff gets shut down. All I'm doing from 5 p.m. until midnight or bedtime, which is usually midnight, is interacting. And that's something else you got to do too. You got to interact. You cannot post and ghost. So consistency. Even if you think my absolute best, highest grossing, biggest views, most interactions, best content ever is stuff that I posted because I had nothing else. I thought it was going to bomb, but at least it was something, and it goes through the roof.
Yeah.
And then I look at that and I'm like, why did that go through the roof? Why was that so popular? Let me see if I can't recreate that and go out and do it again. And if it does recreate and it does kick off again, add that to your repertoire. Do that once a day, every day. Same thing with pictures. Right now, I have 2 things that I do that are kind of new to me. I have a Who's He, What's It? That's a short or a reel. And I find something, and you kind of got to be genuine about it. I find an item, I have no idea what it is. And I video it vertical format. What is this? I'm always finding stuff. I don't know what it is. What the heck is this? Y'all let me know. Those are my best. Second best is a picture. I find a set of shelves that's got some interesting looking stuff on it. I back up and I take, again, a vertical picture of it. Ooh, just a picture, still. What are you grabbing from these shelves? And I post that. Those are my top 2. And third, and I've been doing this one longer than anything else. This is one that's going to sound cliche. It's going to sound, a rising tide lifts all boats. I found out, and I thought to myself, this is a bit of a story, and I'm sorry, it's a segue, but when I'm mad, in order to not be mad anymore, I go out and make somebody else happy. So if something angers me first thing in the morning, I'll go to the post office, I'll hang around, and I'll open the door for people. I'll ask people if they need help with their packages. You need help carrying that. Can I help you? And by doing that and making somebody else smile, making somebody else happy, I feel better. Mm-hmm. And then one day I'm sitting at my computer, I'm like, man, I need to grow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to grow. And that day had been one of those days where I was angry, and I went out making other people smile to make myself feel better. I'm like, bing, light bulb. Let me try. I need more followers. Let me help other people get followers. So on that day, I started uplifting another, and I want to give you this word for word, just the way I do it. Every day, I like to lift up another page and help them grow. Today, I'm highlighting whoever it is with an active link, give them a follow. When I started doing that every single day, and it didn't just take off like a rocket, it just started building. And every day, those posts get bigger every day. Helping other people grow has helped me grow more than anything else. So
What goes around comes around.
it does. And like I said before, a rising tide lifts all boats. So whatever it is, if it's something you want, try to help somebody else get that. Now, I know that sounds hoo-ha, woo-woo, or whatever. But,
Not on this podcast. That's pretty standard fare here.
Yep.
So,
and I'm an old redneck country boy. We don't do
mhm.
hoo-ha, woo-woo stuff. Okay. So, but it works for me. You know,
Yeah.
if the things in life that I've wanted or needed, if I help others get it, my turn comes around.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where, again, you can't post and ghost, post and interact. If you want interactions, you want people to interact with your content, go interact on theirs. And when you do post and people comment on it, reply. And that brings me to my final point about content creation. We've all heard content creators before say this: I can't keep up. I really want to reply and have a lengthy conversation with everybody, but I physically cannot keep up. We've all heard them say that, and we're all like, yeah, good problem to have. Not so much. It hurts my feelings that when I click on the notifications, before I can even click on one of them that catches my attention so I can go reply to them, those notifications jump. And then I'll scroll, try to find the one that I was looking at so I could go interact with them. And it's just gone. And social media notifications, especially Facebook, they're so glitchy. So I go back to my page. I go to Meta Business Suite. I'm trying my best to reply to everybody, even if it's nothing but a thumbs up or heart, a word or two. Thank you very much. Thank you, much appreciated. Thank you. Good eye, good pick, great picks. You're awesome. Things like that. I've had to develop a repertoire of phrases that I use just so I can get to the next one quick enough. And every single one of them is actually heartfelt. It's just I don't have enough hours in the day to do it. And that's one of those sacrifices I'm talking about earlier. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Eventually, you're going to have to come to the conclusion that you can't do everything for everybody every time, but you do need to make the effort.
We have a comment in chat. We're going to go ahead and read for you, Rob. Ellie, will you help me out?
Yeah, Sandy Ready Steady Sells says, I've seen Junk Monkey commenting in lives for years.
Hi, Sandy.
So you have a fan, Rob. And I met Sandy today at the post office. Super nice reseller, and she is fantastic. A lot of estate sales, and she's been selling for years. We appreciate your viewership, Sandy, and it was a pleasure meeting you today at the post office. It's always nice to meet other resellers and network and get to know people, and especially in your local area. And we oftentimes say if you can get to a reseller meetup or some other order of magnitude type of thing where you can network, be sure to do that because it's super important. Rob, I want to thank you for being a part of the podcast. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You have a wealth of information, a true Renaissance reseller, and we appreciate you so much. I know that your time is valuable, and we appreciate it. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand how much you mean to the podcast and how much your content means to everybody in the reseller community. So,
absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate it. I do put a lot of effort into it.
It's noticed.
And I have been, like Sandy was just saying, she's seen me in lives commenting for years, and I have been. You got to put yourself out there. And all the years that I've been doing the content thing, I didn't immediately jump into it trying to get monetized. I got into it initially and set it up to eventually monetize, but I wanted to get myself out there. And then eventually started seeing some growth. And then I finally saw enough growth where I really made the push. And we're not talking weeks or months. We're talking years.
Right.
Building up. And I'm just now starting to see a glimmer, a spark, a small ember of hope that all that effort, all that time is going to pay off. I'm making enough to keep gas in my truck right now for all the running around I do.
Right.
And that's it. Not life-changing money yet. And I may not ever make the life-changing money, and that's okay. It's a revenue stream that I've added. It's an outlet for me. It allows me to interact with you guys, other resellers. There are other resellers in my area, and yes, I'm friends with some of them, but most of them, even the ones I'm friends with, they're my competition. And sometimes people can be a little guarded when you're talking to competition. So being able to have a community, to have an outlet with, to interact with about what we do is important.
Yeah, we are a community. Yeah, community and practice is what we're about on the podcast. That's the reason why we started it originally. We wanted to give first of all, a place for every reseller to tell their story. We enjoy hearing everybody's. We've had people selling just right out the gate, 20 minutes, and people that have been selling for 20 years, everything in between. And we've also had, low dollar sellers and $1 million sellers. We've had the gamut on this podcast. The point of the podcast is to try to increase our knowledge over time through a community of practice. That's the point of this. And I'm hoping that we too will catch fire and I think we're starting to see a lot of that growth now. It took, I think, Ellie, we've been doing this 8 months now.
8 months. Yeah.
So it took about 8 months for us to monetize, baby monetize. And we are really proud of that. A lot of effort, time, like you said, a lot of sacrifice, money, whatever the case is.
That's
but
cool.
We just want to thank everybody that was a part of that journey. We want to thank you, Rob, for being a part of the community and practice and how well you handle yourself and your business through social media. We appreciate every little bit of that content. So I want to encourage you to continue on with that. And we appreciate you so much. I want to remind you guys of one thing. If you can't be good at it. We're going to catch you on the next episode of Launchpad Reseller Podcast. Until
so nice to meet you, Rob.
Nice to
Rob,
meet all of you
one
too.
more question
And
for
thank you everybody in the chat. I really appreciate each and every one. I'm looking that way because I've got another screen over there.
It's okay. All right, guys. Until next